What if silence was the loudest response you could give to someone who shattered your heart? What if, instead of begging, calling, or chasing, your answer was stillness, not from weakness, but from strength? A strength rooted in an unshakable sense of self that whispers, "I owe no explanation to someone who failed to value me when it counted." This isn't about revenge. This isn't about winning her back. This is about winning yourself back. The man who was crushed by love, torn apart by expectations, and left standing in the ruins with nothing but silence. And how he forged that silence into power. She expected the chase, the "we need to talk" texts, the late night calls, the emotional outbursts online. That's what she knew. That's what most men do when their hearts break. But not you. This time, you gave her silence. Not the kind that begs for a reaction, but the kind that lingers. The kind that forces her to wonder. Because true power doesn't shout, beg, or justify. It simply walks away. In Stoicism, we learn that the only thing we truly control is our mind, our thoughts, emotions, and responses. In dark psychology, we understand that absence sparks more curiosity than presence ever could. Combine these truths, and you create an unstoppable force. A man who no longer craves understanding becomes a man who's impossible to forget. So if you've ever been heartbroken, if you've watched her walk away while you lay awake dissecting every mistake, if you felt that suffocating ache in your chest, this is your reminder. Pain isn't your cage. It's your catalyst. She expected desperation. You gave her silence. And that silence? That was your rebirth. If you're done suffering, if you're ready to reclaim your power, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. My silence is my strength. 1. The collapse. It always begins the same way. You give. She withdraws. You open up. She shuts down. You stay steady. She grows distant. Then, one day, it's over. No warning, no closure. Just a cold message. Or worse, nothing at all. She ghosts. She moves on as if you were just a phase. And there you are, staring at your phone, scrambling for answers that'll never come, trying to make sense of her chaos. It feels like a wound in your chest, like something's been ripped out. You can't eat. You can't sleep. Your mind replays every moment. Was I too much? Not enough? Did I say the wrong thing? You blame yourself, questioning everything you are. That's the collapse. And it feels like death. But here's the truth. It's not death. It's metamorphosis. What's dying isn't you. It's the version of you who believed love meant sacrificing self-respect. The man who begged to be chosen instead of choosing himself. That man had to go. This pain isn't punishment. It's the cost of awakening. Most men get stuck here, pleading, bargaining, hollowing themselves out for someone who already discarded them. Don't be that man. Let the collapse happen. Let it destroy the illusion that your worth came from her. Let it burn every fantasy. Then rise, colder, sharper, wiser. A man who emerges from heartbreak without bitterness, only clarity, is untouchable. If you're done romanticizing someone who walked away, if you're ready to rise from the wreckage, comment below. My downfall is my foundation. 2. The storm within. After the collapse comes the storm, not outside, but within. The rage, the grief, the confusion. It crashes over you in waves. You obsess over scenarios. Is she laughing with someone else while I'm falling apart? You stalk her social media, dissecting every word for hidden meaning. You become your own tormentor. This is where most men drown, not because of her, but because they never learned to face their emotions. They were taught to suppress, distract, numb. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. The man who can endure the storm without reacting is the man who masters it. Feel it all. Let the heartbreak rip through you. Let the anger rise. Let the sadness pull you under. But don't act on it. Don't text her. Don't post cryptic messages. Don't beg for validation from someone who ignored your worth when you offered it freely. Sit in the fire. Let it burn away what no longer serves you. This is where transformation begins. You don't avoid the storm. You command it. You observe your mind without letting it rule you. And when you do, you're no longer a slave to your emotions. You become their master. That's where real power is born. If you're done making decisions from weakness, if you're ready to take back control, comment below. I master my emotions. They don't master me. 3. The Vanishing Act. This is the moment she never anticipated. Your silence, your disappearance, the complete cutoff. Not out of spite, but necessity. You stop checking her socials. You delete the thread. You vanish. No texts, no calls, no late night weakness. You don't disappear to hurt her. You disappear to heal yourself. And trust me, that silence, it roars louder than any apology, any closure, any final goodbye ever could. Women are accustomed to men lingering in their orbit. They expect attention, even after they've walked away. But when you go dark, when you pull back entirely, when you erase yourself from her narrative without explanation, something shifts. She expected drama. You gave her distance. She expected chaos. You gave her calm. And in that void, in that echoing silence, a seed of doubt takes root. But this isn't about revenge. This isn't a game. This is about creating space. Space to remember who you were before her. You're not a side character in her story. You're the protagonist of your own. And protagonists don't beg for validation. They walk away. They rebuild in silence. They become untraceable, unshakable, undeniable. The Vanishing Act isn't weakness. It's discipline. It's what happens when a man refuses to fight for a place he was never valued. He leaves, and he means it. If you're done being an option, if you're ready to disappear and reclaim your power, comment below. I don't chase, I choose. 4. The mirror. Now it gets real. No more blaming her. No more replaying her mistakes. No more excuses. It's just you and the mirror. And that's the hardest part. Because now you must face the unfiltered truth about yourself. Not the story you've been telling. Not the fantasy. The raw, uncomfortable reality. Yes, she walked away. But maybe you ignored the red flags. Maybe you saw the signs and stayed anyway. Maybe you hoped love would fix what self-respect should have. This is where you stop playing the victim and start owning your part. That's where your power lives. The mirror doesn't lie. It shows you the man you've been and the man you've avoided becoming. But here's the beauty. The moment you stop lying to yourself, you become unstoppable. You see the wounds, and instead of hiding them, you heal them. You see the weak patterns, and instead of repeating them, you break them. Stoicism teaches us to take full responsibility for our reactions, our thoughts, our growth. No one is coming to save you. No one will hand you peace. You build it alone, quietly, day by day. It starts with brutal honesty about where you've been, and intentional focus on where you're going. Because the real revenge isn't her missing you, it's you no longer needing her. If you're done running from the truth, If you're ready to face yourself and rise, comment below. I'd rather face the truth than live a lie. 5. The cold flame. Now the fire ignites, but it's not wild, not reckless. It's cold, focused, pure. This is where pain stops consuming you and starts fueling you, where silence becomes strategy, where discipline replaces emotion, where you stop reacting and start rebuilding. One rep, one routine, one brutal, lonely step at a time. You stop checking her feed. You stop wondering what she's thinking. You stop needing closure. Instead, you build. You train harder. You master your schedule. You sharpen your mind. You read. You grind. You stack wins in silence. Not for her. Not to prove anything. But because that pain lit a fire inside you, and you decided to control it, not be consumed by it. This is dark masculinity, not anger, not bitterness. Focus, a silence that cuts deeper than words, a power that needs no validation. A man so locked into his mission, he forgets what rejection ever felt like. She expected tears. She expected breakdowns. Instead, she sees a man on a warpath, not because you tried to make her regret it, but because you became someone she can no longer reach. That's the cold flame. Controlled, relentless, untouchable. If you're done burning for someone who walked away, if you're ready to turn pain into power, comment below. My fire no longer consumes me. It fuels me. 6. The echo of regret. It starts small. A view on your story. A like on an old post. A random, "Hey, how have you been?" She's not reaching out because she misses you. She's reaching out because your silence got louder than her ego could handle. Women don't expect men to stay gone. They expect emotion, drama, to remain the center of attention even after they leave. But you became a ghost. Not the weak kind who disappears hoping to be chased, but the kind who vanishes because chasing would have been beneath you. Now, the silence haunts her. She wonders, why didn't he fight? Why didn't he beg? Why didn't he fall apart? She starts asking herself questions you'll never answer. Did he move on? Was I never that important? Is he better without me? And the worst part for her? You are. Not because she left, but because you stopped needing her to stay. You didn't post about thriving. You just did. Quietly. Consistently. Like a man who doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. Regret is an echo, and your silence created it. But don't let that pull you back. You're not here for her curiosity, not for her guilt. Let her sit in the silence she created. You've already moved on. If you're done chasing closure and ready to let silence speak for you, comment below. My absence is the answer. 7. The quiet rise. No announcements. No flex. No revenge tour. Just progress. Unseen. Unspoken. Undeniable. While she checks in silence, you rise in silence. You don't need to post it. You don't need validation. Real power doesn't perform. It builds. This is the stage where you outgrow her memory, where your goals become louder than your past. You move differently now, more focused, more calculated. You stop reacting to noise. You stop wasting time proving you've changed. You don't say a word. You just become someone who no longer fits into the version of you that begged for her. The quiet rise is about becoming high value in the shadows. It's about letting go of ego and choosing elevation over attention. You don't need to show off your healing. You live it. Embody it. You become a man who walks into rooms and doesn't need to speak because his energy says it all. This is the moment she realizes you were the prize. Not because you told her, but because you stopped needing her to see it. You're not trying to win the breakup. You're too busy winning your life. If you're done performing for people who don't matter, if you're ready to rise without noise, comment below. I level up in silence. 8. The return of control. This is where everything shifts. You stop being reactive. Stop being emotional. Stop being available to people who didn't value you. You don't move from pain anymore. You move from clarity. The storm has passed. The silence has served its purpose. And now, you're in full control. Emotional control is the most underrated form of dominance. While she's checking if you're still watching, you're no longer thinking about her. While she's wondering what you're doing, you're too focused on your purpose to care. That's what scares her most. Not that you're mad, not that you've changed, but that you genuinely let go. You're no longer living in reaction to what happened. You're creating from who you've become. No thirst for revenge. No obsession with proving anything. Just peace, power, precision. That's how you know you've won. Not because you feel nothing, but because you feel everything and still choose calm. The man who controls his emotions is a man no one can manipulate. And once she can't trigger you, she loses all power over you. If you're done letting emotions drive the wheel, if you're ready to lead your life with intention, comment below. I respond with purpose, not impulse.